So let's queer up the courts. Kevin Spacey acquitted of sexual assault charges by London jury. A jury in London acquitted Kevin Spacey of sexual assault Wednesday after the Oscar winner's star turn as a witness in his own defense spared him a possible prison term and offers hope of a comeback for his career after 6 years without a job. Tears rolled down Spacey's cheek as the final not guilty verdict was read. The Oscar winner looked at the jury, placed his hand over the lapel of his blue suit and pink shirt, and mouthed, "Thank you." It was his 64th birthday. Spacey's 2 days of testimony culminated with him choking up as he spoke of 6 years without work since the sexual abuse allegations against him surfaced in 2017. 3 men accused Spacey of aggressively grabbing their crotches, describing him as vile and a slippery, snaky predator. A 4th, an aspiring actor, said he awoke to the actor performing oral sex on him after falling asleep or passing out in Spacey's London apartment, where he had gone for career advice and a beer. Spacey said he was a big flirt who had consensual flings with men and whose only misstep was touching a man's groin while making a clumsy pass. Defense lawyer Patrick Gibbs said the 3 of the men are liars. He accused them of hopping on a hashtag #MeToo bandwagon in the hopes of striking it rich. Okay, that's the story. We have put it out there. He is found innocent, but he was still accused.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, his name is escaping me. Remember, I think it was someone on the Star Trek series?
Yes, it was Anthony Rapp.
Anthony Rapp.
Yeah.
He's the one who really brought attention to this 6 years ago. And this is a star who became a star in spite of his alleged assault by Kevin Spacey. And what really is vile about Kevin Spacey is the way he reacted back in 2017. The accusations came out and then he goes, "I'm gay," like we didn't already know. Right. But he goes, "I'm gay and I may have sometimes had too much to drink and done things I shouldn't have." Okay, your coming out does not give you cover. It just does not give you any cover. It only makes everybody else look bad and gives fuel to the Republican fascists who are attacking us from every angle. You don't use coming out as a get out of jail or a get out of sexual groping free card.
Right. Just giving license, as you say, to those who want to call us those names of being perverts and predators and all that kind of thing. But it's a very interesting denouement, as it were, outcome for this story. It's just a very interesting saga because I'm torn on how I feel about it. Again, he's not guilty in the eyes of the court. Mm-hmm. So, but I'm curious as to whether he's really going to bounce back with his film and TV career, because people do forget, and yet on the other hand, very often they don't forget. I mean, we can think of many stars who've had similar kinds of experiences, and they are stained with that forever.
And the real question is, will he change? Because usually when you get off on something like this, some people go back and they repeat the offense. So if he's going to go back to Hollywood and they're going to welcome him with open arms, if he's going to continue doing this stuff, maybe he'll be careful next time. Maybe he won't.
Maybe he won't.
And maybe someone else is going to pay the consequence.
But let's think about it. $31 million was divided to those people in LA that brought that charge against him. So that was in 2017. So if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it is a duck. And this to me is just straight colorism gone crazy. The white guy who cries on the stand, he reaps the benefits of, he blatantly said, "I have done it. I mistakenly done it. I've done it." But these people are wrong. So I might have done it, but just not to those people. So
the clumsy pass.
A clumsy pass. But we know, again, if you do it once, you do it twice, because the more you get away with it, the more comfortable it gets in doing it. And unfortunately, what this does is this gives more reason why men don't come forward, why men don't speak up, because the fear is, I won't be believed, and or if we don't bring the right charges, and or nobody will defend me, so therefore my case is thrown out, and then you're left standing. Because we all know nobody wants to stand in the center of ridicule and have to speak their truth. And when you're speaking this kind of truth that I've been assaulted, that's putting yourself authentically way out there. And so for him to play to the jury, which is what we see here, and think about the massage therapist who committed suicide because of all of this, because of this whole situation. He is now, to everyone's point at the table, gotten away with something that he feels comfortable with that may continue on, and hopefully under the guise of not getting caught again.
You know, I think that I come to this with a somewhat unique perspective. There are two people in my life that I'm very close to that have been falsely accused. One of them went to trial and was found not guilty. The other one, the person admitted before it went to trial that she had made the story up. But I'm still very pro-victim. I'm still listen to the victim. And in this case, the victims have been screaming for 6 years. And tonight or yesterday, they did not get justice. As far as the career comeback, it happens. I don't know if it happens for him here. Roman Polanski had to flee the country. He still can't be back in America. He's done some work and stuff, but I mean, it's all been in Europe, and I know he's been nominated for a few things, but nothing that his early career
nothing like the early trajectory promised.
Right. O.J. Simpson is free. I call him acquitted murderer, O.J. Simpson, but he has never been able to make his way back into the spotlight. There's just certain things that I don't think that you can come back from, and I really hope that Kevin does not.
I think he'll, because of the talents that he has, he'll find his way back in. And
do you think so?
Welcome.
I think
in this political environment.
Also look at the outcriers. Men. Gay men are often less thought about, less believed, less accepted in society. And so if he comes back, that's going to be the way, because they're going to look beyond that fault. I think the story would have been totally different had it been women. I think the story would have been a totally different outcome had it been women. Because again, I am always pro-victim, regardless of sex, because if it happens once, and you can bring a multitude of people together, there's some truth in there. Now, whether or not it goes into the story where the guy says he didn't believe the exact timeline, but it also said that person had to resort to drugs, had to self-medicate to get through. So we all know when you have trauma and triggered like that, there are some things that you block out. So we have to look at the total number of people. And unfortunately, gay men, we're not often thought about in our community. We're not a respected, protected class of citizen. So I really think they'll look beyond that.
What do you think, Dale?
Well, I'm torn on it because I see what you're saying, but to your point also, I think that also people think of gay men, well, we like that kind of treatment. Mm-hmm. So it's overlooked in some ways, because as if we like being manhandled, fondled, etc. I think I don't think that his career will be what it was, not on the trajectory that it was.
Yeah.
But I think that he will find work.
And he played into it.
I think he will find work. Whether it's theater, smaller things, maybe indie film, something. But I think he'll find work. It just won't be. I don't see it being big stuff like he was on the trajectory to be.
Okay. Well, House of Cards doesn't come along even for non-sexual predators. It doesn't come along usually more than once in a lifetime. So I hope we're sitting here in a couple of years, and I hope I can say that you're wrong, and that you're wrong, and that you're wrong, and that Kevin has faded. I know you're a fan. I know you're
not a fan of him. I'm a fan of shows,
House of Cards,
and the characters. And it's not whether I think he should have his career. I'm just saying what the reality is and how these things are usually handled. And if as someone who believes in restorative justice, if he can really go to justice for what he did to those victims, and then we can have that conversation about whether or not he is welcome back in Hollywood. I don't think he is, or it's not up to me, but I don't think he should.
He's not showing any remorse because he's saying not guilty. So,
and he played right into it. He to your point, he fed into it was a consensual situation, and so therefore, and I'm by no means a fan of. So very much like you, Elijah, whether or not I'm just looking and reading what history says and what America has written for us.
Well.
We are Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only live daily LGBTQ+ evening news show, brought to you from Happening Out Television Network. We operate in the same model of PBS and NPR, but for the LGBTQ+ community. We educate, inform, and entertain by supporting the 10 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community, with more than 100,000 a week watching us on Roku, Apple Television, and other channels. To keep the story going, we accept donations with 100% transparency. Stay updated and live authentically with Queer News Tonight.